The milling of the coarse homespun cloth, as in the old days, is repeated even today on occasion when friends gather for an old-time milling frolic to the lilt of Gaelic songs.
Hello, Kimada Hashif. Ismisha Connell Machricha di Gabasta Rewan I Crunel I Albastad Walkin Beck. I'm Connell McKinnon, Agus Sanju, Hamia Kowstin Gaelic, Hamidawa Hekish Gave Root Beckman, Orain Wuwai. I'm at the Gaelic College today and I'm teaching you guys a little bit about the milling tradition and milling songs here in Cape Breton. I'm seated here at Gumborth Wuwag at the milling table and I have my blanket in front of me. And a milling frolic is a form of communal labor, and it's the last step in the process of making our blankets and our clothing for the year. So traditionally, we would be milling at the end of harvest season, and it's quite a laborious process. So instead of undertaking that as a family or one person, we get everyone together and make a community go of it. The milling tradition is not only a task of labor, but it was kind of a ceilidh and a get-together and a party. Everyone had taken in their crops and kind of shutting things down, getting ready for the winter. So it was a good way to have one last blast of fun before the winter sets in. And everyone would bring their cloth that was just off the loom and we'd mill it together around the table. The process of milling, you need to wet the cloth. It's kind of loose when it comes off the loom, and we would sew it into a circle and seat it around the table. We pound it wet off the milling board or the milling table, and that felts it and gets the cloth more waterproof and able to be made into blankets and clothing. And we'd make a pretty fun night out of it, and there would be matchmaking, and there might be a drink or two, and a fiddler might be there, and a dancer in the other room. So you'd have your seat at the milling table, and you'd sing a few songs, and you might go into the other room and have a meal. And now that we no longer have to mill, or we're not making our own cloth as much anymore, we continue the tradition, and it's used as a way to share songs and to share language and just an intergenerational transmission in communities. So there's still milling frolics to this day in communities like Johnstown, Christmas Island, different communities around Cape Breton. And it's just a great way to get together at the end of the harvest season and have a bit of fun and have a laugh and share some songs and stories and to meet with elders and just share the language and tradition. Some of these songs share women's perspectives. In the old country, milling was quite often women's work, and when it came to the New World, you start hearing songs about hunting and sailing and things like this when the men started joining in on the milling table. One song I'll give you an example of is Mary Woodach, My Lovely Mary, and it's a song composed by Callum Gillis from Southwest Margaree, and it's a story from the Iona area of a fella that was working closely with a woman from Mabu, and she had to leave to the States, and they were kind of set to be married, but she had to leave, and he kind of went through some betrayal through a friend, and they never ended up getting together, but Callum heard this story and composed a song about it. We'll try that one. I horo mo veri woodach stulich loom and gachum found smuatach me asta yesa hamochria jairach traum no a hunik me erus uvat on at der mur nach loom Hoerum boys and nuer minchin leto charug kinchach kiun. I horo mo veri woodach stulich loom and gachum found Smuatach me asta yesa hamochria jairach traum ni and down a huey in crewy cook me girl gutes me och G'day to you shin mo harshin chum shin gun bin drast the past Iaro mo veri woodach stulich loom and gachum found Smuatach me asta yesa hamochria jairach traum sound and Jewish let go verach go of my linen goach woam skitta haum Boston rioch strika he me usnam huin I horo mo veri woodach stulich loom and gachum found smuatach me asta yesa hamo chria jairach traum Shoak of Pius Beck yen Oren. That was just a small piece of the song, but good example of the milling tradition here in Cape Breton.
For me, Mabou has always been pretty magical. You know, landscape, people, music, the way of life. There really is something special and genuine about this place. Mabou always seems to be ready to give you its heart. Here at Bain Babu, you have a chance to be part of a movement, drawing on our roots to reimagine our future. Stand out from the crowd, invest in yourself. Live in community, learn in community. Here, you'll find a place that welcomes you, where the wisdom of the culture nourishes you. Honestly, if I try to imagine the perfect place to go to university, this is it. In Mabou, where culture lives.
From June 30th to July 8th, all over Cape Breton Island, Kitchen Fest is back, and we are celebrating year 10. It's happening over 9 days, in 33 venues, with over 150 performers, and you're invited to kick off the summer season with us. Concerts and ceilidhs, pub nights, and square dances. Cape Breton welcomes you to the island-wide kitchen party. For full festival details, you can visit kitchenfest.ca.
For Ceilidh tonight. Welcome. And the language I was just speaking there is Scottish Gaelic, or Gaelic, and it came here with people from Scotland, and it's been passed down in communities here. And the word Ceilidh, if you're not familiar, is a Scottish Gaelic word that means a visit. And it's come to mean any kind of gathering or get-together especially where there's music. And so we're going to have some music and some songs and lots of fun tonight, I hope. And I'm going to teach you a little bit of Scottish Gaelic. When we meet people, we often ask, Kimmer a Hashif, which means, how are you? So I'll get everybody to try. Kimmer a Hashif. Kimmer a Hashif. And there's a lot of ways you can answer that, depending on how you're feeling. But I hope tonight you're all going to say, Gleva, which means very good. So, Kimmer a Hashif, Gleva. Come on. Yeah, so I'm gonna, I think, start things off with a little Gaelic song, but I need some help with it, so I'm gonna teach you the chorus. And I always say everybody can sing in Gaelic. Don't worry about how you sound, just let it go. And this is a song, the chorus goes like this. Fire in you, oro in you, fire in you. Has everybody got that? No, okay, I'll go through it. So it goes, fire in you, oro, yo, firing you. So it's first line, second line, first line repeated. And you might be wondering what you just said. And the answer is nothing. The chorus of this song is made up of vocables, which are sounds that go with the music, like obladi, oblada, or tra-la-la-la-la. And then there's a story that goes through the verses. And this song is about a ship and someone on the Isle of Mull in Skye looking out at the ship, watching it go by these different places and saying, oh, my sweetheart is steering it. And then there's all these things on board, and then the ship sinks and everybody is lost. So a nice cheerful song. All right, so all right, so fire in you, oro in you, fire in you, mi kayat kamalas hakronig minu, fire in you, oro in you, fire in you, dal shachet eke chir krachach nanstuk, fire in you, oro in you, fire in you. Stoere gemmek min chornas bekka me a you, fire in you, oro in you, fire in you. Stoere gemmek min skatten faga gasur, fire in you, oro in you, fire in you. Dal shachet in gur wapach and gru, fire in you, oro in you, fire in you. All right, so we do have some refreshments. There's some tea and coffee and oatcakes and water and beer and pop down at the back if you're feeling a need for anything like that. And there's also washrooms. If you go out that door and around the corner, you'll find them. So if you need that, go that way. And we're gonna get some music, some musicians up here. And tonight we've got Joe MacMaster and Joelle Chiasson.
Good evening, everybody. I think I'm not a huge talker, so I think I'll just get right into it with some tones here. stories for you off the top of my head, so you just have to deal with the music. Thanks so much. Let's see here. Let's play some waltzes, actually. And thank you, Joelle. And we'll be back in a little bit for some more tunes, and I'll welcome Joyce back up here for the meantime.
Well, that was pretty all right. Are your toes getting sore from tapping? And Kimina Hashiv. And I wanted to ask, where's everybody from? Yeah, Montreal. Oh, Montreal? Calgary. Winnipeg. All right, so we've had a few people come from various distances. And I thought I'd tell you a little story in Gaelic. And just in case there's anybody here that doesn't speak Gaelic, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it with an English translation, sentence by sentence, so you'll be able to hear the rhythm of the language, but you'll also be able to understand all the jokes. I hope. And so, va féid ein agus va car coma you. So there was this fella, and he was kind of a, not very particular, I guess you would say. His personality was pretty careless. Agus van teliak goma roppach, and his house was pretty ramshackle. Agus Travis an tushka an vig molch an taya a geitchen. So when it would rain, the roof of the house would leak. Agus fa poch and spukich and ecker fio na chombrichin fararol and tushka chi in a stui. So he had pots and buckets everywhere through the house where he was catching the drips, Agus hanik napi Ceilidh eight. Wow. So this one day a neighbour came to visit him. Spacaith and Garstas. Arsta agad. Carson nach the cadihu moch and taya. And his neighbour was looking around at all this go ahead, and he said, why don't you fix the roof of the house? Agus arsta, well, said Marshaw ha. Travis an tushka en chanuri me. Agus nor nachel charug me less. He said, it's like this. When it's raining, I can't. And when it's not raining, I don't have to. So that's a little bit of Gaelic humor for you. And I'm going to invite Steve Luxton to come up to the stage now. He's going to grab his guitar.
Well, good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here at the Gaelic College yet again. It's always humbling playing after world-class talent like Joe and Joelle there. Just it's a treat to hear you two play, so thank you for the tunes. And I'm a singer-songwriter. I live in Sydney Mines, Nova Scotia, just over Kelly's, a little bit further down the road. I'll play you a couple of my own songs and a couple of songs from my favorite songwriters. Bear with me 1 second. Start with one of my own tunes. This song, it's called Brother.
It's a long walk to freedom from here. Nothing around us. You can rent the air you breathe, just can't take it when you leave. It's not yours, you see, not meant for you or me. Let it be. Brother, lay down your gun. You don't have to walk so far. Raise up your head instead of breaking down. Why not live? It's a long fall down from that highest point. There's no stairs for me. On the way up to the top, you don't think much of the drop, but now it's all you see. Not even doubt comes free. Just let it be. Instead of breaking down, why not baby? Instead of breaking down, why not baby? Calm down, my brother. Oh yes, I'm begging you. Oh, let it go. It's not that hard, my brother. Just let me away, and then you'll see. It's a long walk to freedom from here. Nothing around is free.
Thank you so much. All right. Play another one of my own songs, and it's kind of a different style altogether. I hope you can bear with me here on this one. It's an important song for me. I wrote it for a friend who was going through a difficult time and navigating a dark road that a lot of people don't come back from. Thankfully they did, but yeah, it's a tune I wrote to help process that experience, having somebody close to me kind of drift off the path we'd like to see everybody traveling on.
Whispers flood this empty town. Well, times are tossed like hand grenades, and in my eyes, sweet charades, serenades from a chemical smile. But I hope it's temporary. Well, I hope it's temporary, 'cause my hope is temporary. Everyone knows what's going on, but the trouble behind a troubled mind is too much trouble for their time. So smiles is all you'll ever find, but I hope it's temporary. Well, I hope it's temporary, 'cause all hope is temporary. And who are you? Where's that friend of mine? Where's that friend of mine? In the middle of July, find yourself snow blind. It's not about how low you can go or about the show that you're putting on for us. It's about getting knocked down, flying around and pick yourself back up. How low will you go? How low will you go? How low will you go? How deep in the snow? 'Cause you're so snow blind. You're so snow blind. You're so. And who are you? Where's that friend of mine? Where's that friend of mine? In the middle of July, you find yourself snow blind.
Thank you so much. All right, maybe I'll try something from one of my favorite songwriters. Any John Denver fans out there? So I got married 4 years ago, and this August will be our fourth anniversary. And a couple weeks before the wedding, I was trying to find like a special song for my wife, just to like, kind of play something for her and share something with her that I thought kind of summed up our experience. I couldn't find one. Instead, I found one that was more of like a love song to my guitar, and it kind of encompassed some of my journey my wife and I had been on, but it was kind of like, thank you, old friend, for getting me to where I am. And this song is called This Old Guitar by John Denver.
So guitar, got me to sing a love song. Show me how to laugh and how to cry. Introduce me to some friends of mine and brighten up some days. Help me make it through some lonely nights. What a friend to have on a cold and lonely. So guitar, my lovely lady, open up her eyes and ears to me. Brought us close together, and I guess it's broke her heart. Open up the space for us to be. What a lovely place, a lovely space to be. So guitar, give me my life, my living. all the things you know I love to do. Serenade stars that shine on a sunny mountainside. Most of all, sing my song to you. Ooh, I love to sing my song to you. Yes, I do. I love to sing my song to you. Oh, 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 no, 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 no.
Thank you so much. I think we have time for one more song right now, and then we'll get back to the much anticipated tunes. I'm gonna play another one of my own. I'm gonna play something a little more upbeat, I suppose. This is a love song, like many great songs out there. But it's not only for the someone special in my life, it's also for this beautiful island that a lot of us get to call home. And yeah, it's called True As I'm Sitting Here.
Even the trees do a dance for the dinner. Must have some leaves, cause you're looking for water. The way that you move, how it burns like a fire. And the cool, cool, cool breeze, whoa, yeah. Hurricanes wind never slow you down. No one's stuck like a tree, yeah, you're free to wander. Weak in the knees, you're a shark in the water. The way that I move, how I'm going under, I can't help. So I stay still as the earth stays round. I know now I'll never get now. It's true as I'm sitting here on the road. It's true as the sun that feeds the grass and the rocks that feed the brook. It's true as I'm sitting here on the line. It's true as they cold heart truth. The old aftertaste called time. It's true as I'm sitting here on the I'll keep on sitting here as long as you're sitting here. So whatever to even the trees do a dance for the dinner. Steps and leaves, let me fetch you some water. The way that you move, how it starts my fire. It's hard to and cool, cool, cool breeze. Whoa, yeah. I know now I'll never get now. It's true as I'm sitting here on the road. It's true as that sun feeds the grass and the rocks feed the brook. It's true as I'm ever tell.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you giving me the time. Well, welcome back, Joyce, to the stage.
Steve Luxton. Thank you. In Gaelic we say tapaleaf. What do you try? Tapaleaf. Which means thank you. And I'm going to tell another little story in Gaelic. Humorous stories in Gaelic are often about something really clever or witty that somebody said, or something really foolish that somebody said or did. And there's a few topics that come up a lot in humorous stories in Gaelic. They'll often have something about liquor in them, which liquor and foolish actions kind of go together pretty naturally. They'll often have something about priests or ministers in them, but I probably should steer clear of those tonight. And they'll often, in a humorous story, there'll be something about death. So there'll be about something funny that happens at a wake or at a funeral or in a graveyard. And so I'm going to tell a story that's got a couple of those elements in it. So this one particular night, there were two older gentlemen who were on a terrible bender. So they were after drinking everything that they had, and there wasn't a drop left in the bottle at all. So they were thinking about how could they get their hands on another bottle. Well, some goval fara dollar sakarnach. So one fellow said to the other fellow, well, I know that there's a wake going on in the community this evening. So certainly there'll be drink there. So they went to the house where the wake was being held, and they went in. So they gave their condolences to the widow and that, but they were looking around for the hard stuff, you know. So one fellow said to the other fellow, well, the first thing though, we better go up to the casket and say a prayer. So they knelt down to say a prayer. But they were so loaded that they knelt down at the piano instead of the casket. So they said a little prayer there. So after a little bit, one fella said to the other fella, well, he had beautiful teeth anyway. So I hope you're enjoying our Wednesday night Ceilidh. We do these every Wednesday night all year, and if you're local, you can come back every Wednesday night. And if you're not local, we do live stream them, so you can find them on the Gaelic College Facebook page, and you can watch them from wherever you are. And coming up in a few weeks' time, we have Féisce Kitchen Fest, which is a big music festival that's going to be happening all over the island. Headquarters here at the Gaelic College. And so look for all kinds of information on the shows and performers that are going to be going on for that at kitchenfest.ca if you want to take a look for that. And I'm going to get Joe and Joelle to come back up and give us some more tunes.
Thank you so much, Joyce and Steve. It's funny, it seems every young and upcoming guitar player I meet, they'll often say, oh yeah, I'm learning from Steve Luxton. So quite a reputable guy to have, so it was great to hear you sing some songs, Steve. Thank you. say something. But just thank you all for coming out. And it's the first time I've been at the Gaelic College in probably a couple of years anyway, so it's really nice to be back. I spent a lot of time here in my youth. I think it's right around 10 years ago, a couple months ago. It was 2013. I came here for the first time and took my first music lessons ever, really. So everything that's transpired since then has been quite something. So every time I come back to the Gaelic College, it's always, there's a sort of nice nostalgic feeling, and it's sort of a sense of, okay, here we are again. It feels like home in some ways. So that's great, and I'm very happy to be back. Thanks. So this year also is marks the 50th anniversary since the first big Glendale concert, and some of you here may have even been there and remember it well. So my granduncle Buddy MacMaster, the late great Buddy MacMaster, was one of a round of applause, Buddy MacMaster. I have him in mind, one of my biggest inspirations, and so he would have been quite literally instrumental in that. And so I'm thinking of him, and I think I'll play a few tunes that I would have learned from him. So hope you enjoy. I think we got time for maybe one more quick set of fiddle tunes, and then we'll get Steve Luxton up, and we'll, do another quick one. So thanks so much again, everybody. It's great to play again. And thank you, Joel. I haven't played with Joel in years, so this is really a treat. He's one of my favorite piano players to play with. So thanks for taking this. B flat claw again. All right, thanks everybody. And I guess Steve, you're up now, or? Yeah.
A little finale.
Sure, we do a finale. What do you think?
Oh, okay, sorry, I might have ran over. Where am I? I'm all tangled up here.
Sure, you stay where you're at.
Okay, I'll stay here and then.
And I'll move to under the microphone.
Perfect. Sorry, I moved it down.
All right, so whenever I was told we were going to do some kind of grand finale, I was thinking, what could we do that we might all have at least heard before? And so I was thinking it was just this past Saturday, it was the 40th anniversary of Stan Rogers passing away. I figured maybe we'd do some Stan Rogers for you guys tonight. And my favorite tune by Stan Rogers would be The Blue Nose. So I think we'll give that a try. We'll see what happens. And this is our first rehearsal.
She slips her lines, turns her red and comes away. She sits so still like prodigies. What now? She's quickly making way. But she'll range by herself from the harbor mouth, rejoicing away. Oh no, the blue nose in the sun. Give her violet green from other sea. Sunburst cloudy spray that sucks the cheek as the rigging does speak of sea miles away. But she's always best under full press, hard over as she lay. Oh no, the moon knows in the sun. Oh no, the moon knows in the sun. She's the proud fast queen of the grand makes me portrait on every line. New hard work in her time, hard work in every line. She's the rich man's toys and the Gloucester boys with their token bit of blood. They'll snap the spurs and string to pass her by.